Hi, this video tutorial is about adding an exam to your Moodle page using the quiz module. First of all, go to the Moodle page you'd like to add the exam to, click Turn Editing On at the top, and then find Add an Activity or Resource in the section you would like to add the quiz. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to add this one at the top of the course. So I click Add an Activity or Resource, scroll down and find the quiz module, and then I'll click Add. This brings us to the settings menu for the quiz. I'm going to name this quiz Exam 1. We do not need to add a description, though if we wanted to, we could. And if we wanted that description to be shown on the course page, we would check the tick box, Display Description on Course Page. Now, scroll down and open the Timing section. You can see that we can set a time to open the quiz. For example, I'm going to go on March 25th, 2020. I'm going to open that quiz at 3 p.m. And then I'm going to also close it at 4 p.m. If you want to add a time limit outside of the open and close times, you can. For example, if I wanted to add a 45-minute time limit, that would allow the students to enter up to 15 minutes late and still get the full 45 minutes. But any student that starts at 3 o'clock is going to have their open attempt submitted automatically at 3:45. You'll notice you have some options of what to do when time expires. You can give a grace period, or attempts must be submitted before the end of the time limit or they're not counted. I think the best setting here is actually open attempts are submitted automatically, so that when the time limit happens, the attempt that the student has made so far gets submitted and they're not able to modify it after that. In the grade area, if you have a grade category, you can select that category here. That would be if you have your gradebook set up to include categories. And then here you can select how many attempts are allowed. Notice that you can give students multiple tries if you want to, but for the sake of a summative exam, usually people only want to allow one attempt for the students. So I'm going to leave that at one attempt. The next thing that I want to talk about is question behavior. Shuffle within questions means that the answers are shuffled around inside of the question, so answer A is not always the same thing for every student. It's a good setting if you have, like I said, a summative quiz, which is what we're talking about right now. So the question behavior and the review options are related. So if I change this deferred feedback to immediate feedback, notice that the during attempt becomes available, because that means if I'm giving immediate feedback, the students can see right away during the attempt whether or not they got it correct, what the points were, what the specific and general feedback is, and most importantly, I think in a summative exam situation, what the right answer is. But I don't want them during the attempt to see what the correct answer is or the points or anything like that. So I'm going to select deferred feedback. And notice that even though there are check marks in these areas, there is a circle slash when I try to change them. That means that they are not going to see those anyway. Deferred feedback means that the feedback comes after the student has completed the exam. Now, the default settings here for review options, as you can see, immediately after the attempt, by default, they can see what their answer was, whether or not it was correct, what the points were, and what the right answer was. Let's imagine that in this summative quiz, I don't want the students ever to see the right answers. I would just go ahead and uncheck all of these boxes right here. Remember, the circle slash means that the students can't see those anyway based on some other setting. So if they can't see the attempt, obviously they can't see whether or not it was correct, the specific and general feedback or what the right answer was. You could allow them to see the points immediately after the attempt, even if they can't see the attempt itself. But in this case, the student will see nothing. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck all the boxes that are available for later while the quiz is open and after the attempt is closed. If you'd like to modify these to meet your pedagogical orientation, I invite you to. But what I'm setting up right now is a quiz that will not tell the student what their score was. It will not tell the student what the right answers were. They just submit their answers, and that is it. So I'm going to scroll down, and let's imagine I wanted to put some extra restrictions on this attempt. For example, I'm going to show more and we'll see browser security. This enables me to do a full screen pop-up with some JavaScript security. That means that when they launch the quiz, it will take over their whole screen. They will not see a back navigation button, a forward navigation button. They won't see the URL. They won't see the refresh button. And they won't see the minimize window or maximize window or any of those items. Now, this is not 100% secure for a couple of reasons. First of all, I know how to get around it on a computer. It's very simple JavaScript security, so I could get around it if I wanted to, and there are probably students out there that can too. Also, even if I could lock down your entire computer, remember that students come to campus with an average of 2.5 devices each. So even if I lock down the computer that you're taking the quiz on, I can use my mobile device to seek the answers that I am looking for. So even though this browser security is a good feature, it is not foolproof, and it will not prevent students from being academically honest if they are absolutely determined to be academically dishonest. So I am going to put that on there. It will make it more secure. Also, the time limit is making it a little bit more secure. I would recommend between 30 seconds and a minute per multiple choice question if they're at that knowledge and comprehension level. So keep that in mind as you're designing your exam for distance delivery. So I'm going to go ahead and leave all of these other settings as they are, and I'm going to click Save and Display. Now, I've made a mistake. You can see that I didn't actually go into the quiz editing screen. If I see adding a new quiz again after I've clicked Save and Display, I've done something that is not possible. So I'm going to scroll down and show you where my mistake was. Right here, this red text says, I could not update the quiz. You have specified a close date before the open date. Notice that I didn't set the close date to be a date after the open date. So I have the quiz closing on the 14th of March and the quiz opening on the 25th of March. That is not possible. So I am going to change that date to match it up so that it actually opens on the 25th of March at 3 p.m. and closes on the 25th of March at 4 p.m. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to click Save and Display. Now I get taken to the quiz editing area. You can see that now I have settings that are consistent and possible. And I can scroll down and I can see that the quiz will not be available until 3 p.m. on March 25th. The quiz will close on Wednesday at March 25th at 4 o'clock, and the time limit is 45 minutes. Now I'm ready to actually add questions to the quiz. I'm going to go ahead and click Edit Quiz, and it will open the editing interface for the quiz. And at this time, I'm going to end this video tutorial because this was just about setting up the quiz and setting up the simple security that we're going to use to help students remain academically honest as they take this quiz. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, happy Moodling. Watch the next tutorials for more information on how to add questions both from the question bank and how to edit them within the Moodle interface.